pause, maybe cut this out. I was like, that's too late.
I know what my kid likes versus I know who my kid is.
I don't like my parents, like,
We have to make a pause to announce today's sponsor of this video.
Not the type of person that I would want to be around anymore.
You could hear the background fights. It gets to a point where they feel provided and taken care of, but they don't feel known. Hello friends, welcome to another video. Today we're here again with Grace, my favorite ever guest.
Hi guys, great to be back again.
Yes, we took a 1 week break. We needed to readjust, but we're back and we are stronger than ever. We are not reading an entry from Diary of a Parent. Today we'll be discussing a conversation that came up that I wrote about it, but for the next book. The conversation came up with, we're talking about a friend, old friend that we used to know. He was close to us, very dear to our hearts. And Grace made such a good observation. And I just thought this is the next topic we need to talk about. It was about parents that think they know their kid, but they don't really know the kid. Do you remember that?
I certainly do remember that. We were just talking about this a few days ago, so it's pretty fresh in my mind. Do you want me to, do you just want to start talking about it, or do you have like a layout?
No, so you can tell the story without names and specific context, but the whole point of the video is the importance of, for parents, that is not the same to know what your child likes and knowing your kid, knowing your teenager. So go ahead, tell the story.
Okay, so I knew this guy. It was a while ago. It's not like recently. And I knew him pretty well. I talked to him a lot. And we just kind of separated like our ways in like high school and everything. And high school, a lot of things change. And I recently came across his social media account, and I saw that he was a very different person, and not the type of person that I would want to be around anymore. That does drugs and the stuff that doesn't really for fun. Wait, is that a word? Like for fun? Or like
fulfill,
not like fulfill, but I've heard something, but like fulfill you. And I had like this feeling in my chest that I was like, this is not him. Like I know that's kind of cringy, but like this is like not like who I used to know. And the thing is that people change, right? I've seen people change personality wise, and do they just grow? We all grow, but like there's just like another person, and not in a good way. So, and I started talking to my mom about it, and I was like, yeah, like he's just changed a lot. And then we started talking about like the actual parent aspect of it.
And the reason why we started talking about the parents is because we had good conversations with this kid, and we could hear the background fights. We could see their social media, and then we could hear what was going on the background. Plus the posts on the secret accounts all teenagers has. And little here, little there, but everything put together gives us an idea. Now, we don't know the full story, but it is very clear to me more and more that a lot of parents confuse providing with connection. Like this parent in a specific, it's involved in buying like the...
I got you. So
I didn't want to say specific things,
but his parent, he would, he knows his, just his overall what he likes, what type of music he likes, what artists he likes, what does he do when he gets out of school, the basic and outer things that you see in your child. But we kind of like were talking about maybe he doesn't know the inner of him. Like he doesn't know what he does,
what he struggles on his mind, what's on his heart, what fears, what ideas, what goals. So I hope we're trying to put into words what we were processing on a car ride. But I have a lot of families confused providing, participating, buying, attending with connection. With this parent in specific, he buys things, he attends events, he knows the surface interests of the kid, he posts photos. So from the outside, he looks involved, but maybe to this kid that we know and we appreciate, he doesn't really feel involved in his life.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that.
this is not to shame any parent, because a lot of us we're literally doing the best we can with what we know. But a lot of parents wear the slogan on their chest: I show up, I provide, I support their interests, and doing what a good parent does. And yes, they do need provision, but kids, teenagers also need emotional safety. They need that emotional connection of feeling known, because it gets to a point where they feel provider and taken care of, but they don't feel known.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I do agree with that. Even like I'm blessed enough to have like a really great relationship with my mom. And like a lot of the times when I'm feeling sad or I'm feeling that something really bad happened, I need to go to you, right? Like I just immediately I need to tell my mom. And it's just that emotional support that I have in you, that I can know that she's always there for me. And sometimes the kids don't have that. They don't have anyone to talk about their feelings a lot. And I feel like that's just something that I've seen in this kid. He has a lot of feelings, but he doesn't really have anyone to talk about it to. And that can really affect a kid and a teenager when they grow up, obviously.
Yes. And now I wrote down some examples to hopefully in your mind help you see the picture that we're trying to show you. And for teens, please comment down. If you don't want to put your name in there, open a fake account, follow me on that fake account, and then comment, because it's so important for teens to voice your concerns, your minds, your hearts. But knowing your child is not knowing their favorite band, buying skateboards or toys, paying for tickets, or sending them to the latest concert. Knowing your child is, before I say that, we have to make a pause to announce today's sponsor of this video.
Oh, sponsor!
You guessed it. No, I'm just kidding. Today's sponsor is my husband, her dad, who keeps providing so I can keep doing what I love and what I want to try and what I dream. But hey, Giovanni, we love these ones. If you're watching, I will tag you. Sponsor.
Please.
Please.
That's the best sponsor, though. The dad sponsor. That's
Yes.
the best type of sponsor.
Yes. So knowing your child is knowing how they process their pain, what makes them shut down, what embarrasses them, what scares them, what excites them deeply, what they hide, how they interpret love, and how they become or who they become under stress. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, especially we were talking about love a few days ago and how we interpret love. And I was reading my Bible and we were kind of deep diving into what Jesus thinks is love and how he shows love to us. And I think it's really important to know like all of those, to express all of those, because I was expressing how I saw love. And that can just say like, oh, like, why do you see it like that? Or like, oh, like, what did you see to make you think that?
Yeah.
So it's just, even in all those topics.
And she's talking about a
questions.
devotional that our church is doing for this month. I will try to link it for anyone interested. I think it's really good for teenagers and for parents to just sit down. It's really easy, nothing so deep, but it's a really, really good devotional. Now, I think that's the main difference between I know what my kid likes versus I know who my kid is.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it took a lot of curiosity, a lot of patience, a lot of error and trying, a lot of apologizing, because we didn't get to this overnight. It was a process. We were talking the other day as to how she remembers the first time I asked her, what's been heavy on your heart lately?
Yeah.
And it was funny to me that she still remembers, because I was journaling about it and I was like, those were really the 10 longest seconds of my life. She took forever to reply that, to answer that question.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because for a long time we were also living on, okay, we gotta get this done, next one. We were functioning, but we were not living, connecting, talking, laughing, loving. And it's been years of understanding each other, growing together, and we will be doing it till the day we die. What do you have to say about that?
I mean, talking to what she just said about the moment when she asked me, I feel like there's another thing. Maybe your teen might not even answer that question. Maybe they're a little too, this is out of my comfort zone, because I did answer the question. I didn't say the full thing at first. I was scared. I was like, why is she asking me this? Like, this is so weird. you're going to feel the same way when your parent asks you those kind of deep questions, because it kind of feels like you're getting out of your little bubble. But at the end of the day, like, this is like your parent, and they're trying their absolute best if they're, consistently trying to get to know you emotionally. They're just trying their best to get to know you. And it's okay to say little things. You just got to
Yeah.
grow, You
Yeah.
just got to grow and keep growing. You don't need to say like the most deepest secret you have, but, say something just like, oh, yeah, I've been really thinking about this lately,
You have to have a willing heart. That's
Yeah.
all.
Hmm.
You're gonna make mistakes. We're humans. Just be willing to understand that the person that you have in front of you is your own blood, your father, your mother. That's the only one that we will never be able to change. Like,
True.
that came standard, right?
Yeah.
And we are all learning. And if you have a mom or a dad that is curious, that is asking you these questions, embrace them.
Yeah.
And if you're a parent, if you're a mom or a dad watching this, I know that we can fall into this not because we're fake or because we like posting but not doing it. Some people are, let's be for real. But I think it's so easy for parents to fall in this because, first of all, nobody taught us that. Nobody, we were never emotionally known ourselves. We never find out how to know what we like, how we process things, or who we are. We were just raised because there was always something else to do, something else to worry, to put food on the table, to take care of bills. So there was probably little space to explore our emotional selves. Now, I also see, and this is not only from this story, I see it with other kids that I have mentored. Their parents think love equals provision. But if I have to be painfully honest, I think a mindset that we need to get out of is providing is just what we must do. We literally brought the kids to this world. Why are we saying, I put a roof under your head? We gave birth to them. Like, that's the minimum. And yes, the minimum sometimes is exhausting and harder, but that should not be an excuse to not try to connect with our kids. And it doesn't have to be perfect at the beginning for the connection to be real at the end. That's something that I keep reminding myself because we didn't start actually intentionally raising her until probably she was starting middle school. At the end of elementary school is when Holman and I sat down and we were like, what are we doing with our life?
I just realized elementary school. That's like I was a freaking baby back then.
Yeah, so it was like at the end of 5th grade that we were actually wondering.
Yeah, but still, even if your child is starting high school, starting middle school, maybe even starting, I don't want to say starting college because maybe they're going away. Because I don't, okay, wait, pause, maybe cut this out. I was like, that's too late. I feel like it's too late.
But I'm not going to cut that off because I love her thoughts, right? This is what shows what teenagers are thinking. And yes, we started at the end of 5th grade to intentionally raise her. We were not longer moving with the whatever was going on with the routine. And she said, that sounds too late. It could have, but we started it. We did it, and now we're here. And we think of time and future like it's so far and it's so late and we lost so many years. Yes, we did lose so many years. We were looking in where we're trying to take care of ourselves, and it hurts to look back and see I actually wasted so many years with my kid. And maybe you're in that spot, but that's okay. Start right now. It doesn't have to be, it can be 20, 30, 40 years old. Start right now while you're still alive, while you're still in their life, or maybe they have moved out. Start right now. It's truly never too late. It's so cheesy, but it's never too late.
Yeah, that's true.
It's never too late. 2 more things for parents that I think they fall into this is emotional connection feels uncomfortable or unfamiliar. And I think that's a very common one.
It's very common. Like even just like in teenagers and anyone talking about their emotions or something that they are scared of talking about, it's always going to feel uncomfortable. But you just got to start tiny. You don't need to, as I said before, you don't need to say like something big and, oh my gosh, like my biggest secret. Just start small, start actually saying
And
how
it
you're
builds
feeling.
up.
Yeah, and it builds up slowly. Just slowly start saying how you feel, what you think, maybe say a random thought. Maybe just like think like what you did during the day or something that bothered you,
Mhm.
just like the little things. It doesn't need to be like something big.
And it will get to that. You're building that, excuse me, you're building that foundation where you can grow and have any type of conversation. The last one for parents is that you maybe generally you don't know how to do it, how to connect. Well, first of all, you're hopefully watching this video and you're getting to see how things move, what things you can do. But also we live on a time where everything is available at our fingertips. Google, articles, freaking AI.
No, don't use AI.
Which don't use AI, yes, for
But it's like there's a lot of
but it is
resources.
available. It is available. And also I will, if you click on my link on the profile, there's some free resources and they're available for you that I did myself while getting to here. So I know the work, if you put intention, if you work with faith in God, that you're able to do those things. So go check them out. They're free. They're available for you. My last type of, I don't want to say warning, but something for you to think about it. I think a lot of us parents are building relationship based on, their activities, their purchases, their appearance, but we are avoiding that emotionally intimacy, that emotionally connection, because that requires slowing down. It requires listening, tolerating imperfections, asking questions without controlling their answers. Do you want a kid that feels that you know their schedule, or do you want a kid that feels they can come to you with anything for everything? And it is possible. I know it sounds like, oh, all teenagers are like this. No, they're not. That's a hill I will die on.
No,
But
like we've seen it 100%. Like we've seen different teenagers express how they wish they could go to their parents for anything and anyone. That something happens. I kind of said that wrong, that they wish they could go to them for anything, basically. Anything that happens in their life. And every teen expresses that. Even if you don't admit it, like even if you're a teen, you don't admit it. Like, I don't like my parents. Like, yes, you do. Like, I know you just have like a little like pushback on your heart that you just feel like, just something happened. You don't feel it, but that's just a overall thing.
Yes. Now here is a couple questions that I want you to try next time, because remember, real curiosity, real connection starts with curiosity, but being curious. Now it's not control, not performance, not lecture. It's questions like, what's been on your mind lately? And they could hit you with a what? Or there could be silence. Let it be silence. And if there is, you can say something like, do you want to hear what's been on my mind lately? And you might either get no, or you might, okay, whatever, go ahead, take it.
Or they actually might be curious, because maybe it was just me, but I was actually curious on like what my mom was thinking, because she's an adult and she has her own life and she has more adult responsibilities. I was more curious, So even be curious, like show what you really are, don't like be performative either. Just be like, okay, it doesn't need to be anything crazy, even though you're really curious, it doesn't need to be anything crazy.
And as the space grows and you're able to talk more with your kid, you can start asking questions like, what do you wish your teacher understood better about you? That will spark conversation. This is not about the teacher. Maybe it is. Maybe you need to talk to the teacher. But it's about them expressing their thoughts, their feelings, their ideas. And then you can go deeper. When do you feel most alone? What kind of pressure do you feel? And in this, it's a two-way bridge. You listen, they listen, and tell them about your life. Filter it, whatever you tell them with a purpose. So if you're going to tell them you got into a fight at work because it's funny, because it's gossip, you say with a purpose. Why you got into a fight, why you could have done better, how that helped you, and how you wish they would do it differently in their life. Don't just vent. Okay, at the end of the day, you're the adult, they're the teenagers.
I got an example for this, for something that, if you want an example.
Go ahead.
My mom, she goes to church groups, and she went to the women's small group, and there was this lady, and she was not talking so good about another person in the church. And, she could have came to me and she could have said like, oh, this lady was gossiping, like just full on like telling the tea. But she told me that, but she also told me what she did, how she think about it, you know. And
That's a good example, yeah.
she actually stood up for the girl and was like, you know, I won't say the whole thing, but she stood up and she told me that, and she told me what I could do when I'm in that situation, or and just like overall, like,
That's a great example, yeah.
she didn't just tell me this girl was gossiping. She was telling me all the other stuff that she just mentioned.
Yes. So I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you. So this is a topic very dear to my heart because I see it in all type of teenagers, all type of families. So it is happening. Take a minute, pause. You truly have everything you need to start building that connection with your teenager. And any advice for teenagers on this topic?
If you're scared, like you're truly scared, I would say start little. Like, don't like obviously say the big scared thing that like maybe you're scared of academic pressure. I've seen that a lot in teenagers. So they're scared to disappoint their parents because they might not get an A in a class. Just say like, you know, sometimes like I get a little nervous for tests, you know, or sometimes like, and then
That's a good one, yeah.
and then they'll start, you know, like, oh, you know, maybe they'll be curious and they'll be like, oh, why are you nervous, you know, and then it will slowly start, and then you realize the big picture of like you're just scared of disappointing your parents because you want to get an A in a class, and then you'll work towards that. And then my mom always tells me in a class, I'm gonna make this on camera, but I got a C in math. I got actually like a 676 on this class, and I told my mom, I was like, Mom, like I did a good job on the final exam, but I didn't really like overall, like I could have done better. And I had all A's in my other classes. She was like, but it's the effort that counts. It's that you actually put in the effort, even though there was a little bit like a lot of mishap in that class. So it was like you put in the effort and you learned and you growed, just, you know, like you tried your best, even though you got a C, you know? And I feel like that's what a lot of parents need to tell their children on that type of topic. And just overall, because I feel like what you say is really good, is that it's the effort that you put in. It's not like the result. Yes, you'll get the result, and yes, you will grow and everything, but it's really the effort that really matters and what you put into it, and it will show, you know. Effort shows.
And this is in any area of your life.
Yeah.
Any area of your life. Now, one last thing, either way, either the teenager or the parent, when these conversations start happening, you might get scared and you might pull back.
Mhm.
It's okay. You can even try to say it out loud. Hey, be like, that's a lot of information for me. I'm processing it because I'm learning how to do it. Be honest. Like, bring your heart to it. And then the important thing here is learning how to repair, learning how to apologize, and learning how to come back. Come back to it. You don't have to be perfect. You don't.
Yeah.
That's every time I talk to any parents, I wish I could just grab you by your shoulders and be like, come back to it. Don't throw it under the rug.
Yeah, it makes it just worse. It doesn't really help anything.
Again, remember, you are raising a kid that hopefully would not say, my parents love me, but they never knew me. So continue building to that. You're alive. That's what we're supposed to be doing.
Sorry, this is my little finger for
Go
my
ahead.
thing, my little raised hand. This, I also got a cut, by the way, but we're not gonna talk about that. I keep giving examples, but I want to give an adult example of this. So there was this pastor at our church. He still preaches at our church, and he still you know, is there pretty often. Him and his wife did not really have a good relationship in the beginning of their marriage. He was talking about this openly in the church, right? And I was listening, and then he started talking about how he would go to his dinner table with the wife and the kids and start talking about Bible verses. And the wife would be like, are you serious right now? Like literally like being mean. But the one thing that he didn't do was give up. He didn't give up on actually trying. He actually was consistently trying to help the relationship. And now they're like pretty you know, they're flowing now, and now it's good because he kept trying, and you know, he didn't stop when it felt uncomfortable. And then, you know, then the wife started to realize, oh, he's actually starting to try to fix a relationship. And then that's when the wife's effort comes in, and then that becomes a two-way, and you guys are a team. And that's just the same with
Yeah, because
kids.
at the beginning, a lot of the things that come up is like, oh, they're just fake. They're just trying it for a couple. They're just going to give up. And you're not fake. You are tired and you might give up, but that's why it's so important to keep coming back. to keep trying to keep building. And I always say this at the end of the videos, everything for us did start with God. When we started building a relationship with God and finding out who we are as their daughter, his daughters and his son. But it's the same thing for you. I don't know in what part of the journey you are with your relationship with God, but God, I do believe, created us to be alive, to not survive. We are created to thrive. And thriving in a family looks like connection, like peace, like you wanting to come home because you missed and you love them and you feel welcome.
Or like you feel homesick when you're gone for like a week. Because I remember when I was in my Miami camp, I was like so like homesick, and I was so sad because I was crying. I was crying to you on the phone, and I was like, "Mom, something bad just happened." And she's like 9 hours away, and I can't hug her. I can't like talk to her. Like I can talk to her, but I can't physically talk to her. That's family. That's true connection for me, you know?
I love it. And connection, she just say for me, connection might look different to you, but at its core, it feels peaceful. It feels like you can completely do a trust fall and you will be catch. There will be hands behind you. That's family connection right there. So thank you. Thank you for sitting with us. Thank you for listening to our thoughts. We prayed and we hope that you can take some things that might hurt you, that might feel hurtful because it's touching on your ego and it's touching on things that you know you could be doing differently. But I pray that you also take the examples, the ideas, and the hope that it is available, that it is possible, that you are alive and this is the time to do it.
I agree.
Thank you for being here. And thank you, friends, for watching this video.
Bye.